and welcome to the Made by Mimino podcast. This is episode 59, and as usual I'm filming from Mönchengladbach in Germany, although I'm originally from Wales in the UK. And it's another hot day today, so I'm afraid I'm filming with the window open. So I apologise for any extra background noise. Hopefully it'll just be nice birds and swifts going past, and well, there were some. But yeah, there might be some more background noise today because it's hot. So yes, welcome. A huge welcome to you if you're new here, and a very warm welcome if you've been here before. This is mostly a knitting podcast, although I do also talk sometimes about spinning and weaving. Not today, I don't think, just knitting today. I've got lots of projects to share with you. Finally, some finished objects. I'm so excited to have some things off my needles. But what else have we got today? There's no irresponsible purchases. I'm still waiting for some, some baby yarn to arrive from the UK. In fact, I must say, in the last episode, I actually ended up going back and cutting out a few seconds of the episode because I mentioned that I wanted to find some baby yarn that was light blown cotton. Now, a couple of people misunderstood and thought that I was actually going to use some sort of fluffy yarn in a baby knit, and I just wanted to make it absolutely clear, only baby safe yarns, looking for something that has the effect of floofy yarn without actually being floofy. So I just wanted to make that clear. I don't mind being misunderstood. It's going to happen. You're not inside my brain, thankfully. But I really didn't like the thought of somebody going off and finding some mohair or something to use in a baby knit, which would be absolutely not okay. It just gets stuck in their airways and it can be really problematic for little ones. But I think most people know that, don't they? So anyway, yes, I've got a few projects and things to talk through today. I have a test knit, which is great. I haven't done a test knit for ages, but I couldn't say no to this one. What else have I got to tell you about? Also, a huge thank you to the people who bought me a coffee on Ko-fi.com after the last episode. That was so kind of you. Thank you so much. All of the money and things, any revenue that I make on this channel, it all goes back into equipment or prizes for giveaways, that kind of thing. So thank you so much. It's really, really appreciated. Speaking of giveaways, the 3 winners of the cable mal, got back to me, and their prizes have been sent off. Hopefully they should be arriving soon, and there will be another mal starting soon. I'm thinking maybe beginning of June, so in the next week or so, but I'm having a little think about that. Usually over the summer I run a thrifty mal, so using things that we already have in stash, that kind of thing. But I'm thinking of maybe doing something slightly different this year, but yes, we shall see. Watch this space. So let's get started. I forgot to mention, I always forget something in the introduction. Yes, I always put chapters in, so if there's any bits that you're not interested in, feel free to skip over. And also anything I talk about is linked down below, all the patterns, the yarn, etc. And also, if you're interested, you can find me on social media on Instagram, Ko-fi and Ravelry. I don't really do too much in my Ravelry group. It's mainly for just when there's make-alongs, things like that. So yes, I hope to see you there. Today I am wearing the beautiful Kuutar tee by Zari Nordland. This is such a gorgeous summer tee. I absolutely love it. I love the wide neckline. I love the gauge. I've done this in Noro yarn. It was Sonata, which is a mix of cotton, silk and man-made fibres, some viscose as well, I think, in there. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's so floaty and light and really nice to wear in this hot weather. I went down a needle size for this. I did mine on 3mm needles rather than the recommended 3.5. So I did them on a US, a US 2.5. But other than that, I followed the pattern exactly for the 5th size. Do you know what? I'm really tempted to make another one of these. I love the sleeve length, and it's just a really, really nice tee to wear. And this fabric is just gorgeous. I love this yarn. Where did I get it? I think I picked it up. We went on a little day trip to Luxembourg early last year, I think, and I picked up 3 skeins of this then, and it was absolutely spot on. I think I used just over 2 skeins for my size, and I used the rest of it in a weaving project. But it's just very light and cool. This all over lace yoke is gorgeous. I do have a hankering to cast on another summer tee, but I'm not sure what. I got some lovely linen mix yarn at Wonderwool last month. I'm really tempted to do some sort of... Oh, that's a noisy engine just starting. It sounds like a bag of spanners. Yeah, I'm really tempted to do some sort of colourwork yoke or something like that with that sort of linen mix, but I'm not really sure what to do. I tend to usually, when I'm doing colourwork, gravitate towards Eleanor Mortensen patterns, but I'm just not sure. I'm wondering, do you have something on your needles at the moment, a summer weight tee or something like that, that you can recommend? Because yeah, it'd be nice to try something new from a different designer that I haven't knitted for before. So yeah, that would be really cool if you could let me know what you're knitting at the moment if you're making a summer tee. I've made summer tees from Isabel Kramer, Zari Nordland, Fibre and Pine. What else have I done? Did I say Isabel Kramer? It's early in the morning. I'm trying to get this done early because it's going to be hot again today. And to be honest, I have sort of mixed results. I find that for my taste, I don't particularly like knitting in just cotton by itself. I find that it makes a garment that's just a bit too heavy. It just might be the patterns that I'm picking, to be honest. So maybe I should try something else. But I do find that something that's a linen merino mix or a cotton merino mix, something like that, it works really, really well for me. One of my favourite yarns that I've made a summer tee in was the Knitting for Olive merino cotton blend 4-ply. That was really nice. It made a beautiful drapey fabric. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for patterns for a summer weight tee, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's talk about the blanket, my first finished object. It's done. It's done. I'll try and do a little video of me standing up holding it, but it's done. I'm so happy with it. I've made a big squishy DK blanket. I used about 700 grams of woolly knit cones, so the blue and the pink. I used about 700 grams of an advent from Het Volby, so that was 500 grams, and the rest was mixed leftovers from Lay Family Yarn. And I've just done a freestyle striped blanket. I used a dishcloth pattern that's linked down below, and yeah, I just kept making it bigger until I'd run out of this pink yarn, and then I switched to the blue and started decreasing and just put in the stripe where it felt like it needed a stripe. But yeah, it's made this beautiful big squishy blanket. It's about 1.5 meters square, so about 5 foot square, so it's turned out really, really big. And somebody was asking me after the last episode, I think, how I block blankets. I don't block them, to be honest. I wash them and then I lay them out as flat as I can to dry. I wait for a nice hot sunny day like this. I usually leave the blanket to soak overnight, as long as it's not something that's going to get damaged by sitting in water. And then I get it out first thing in the morning. I lay it flat on an area on my balcony because I have a really small apartment. It's only about 60 square metres, but we were lucky enough to have an outside space. So yeah, I lay it flat on an area and just let it drip dry. As it dries, then I turn it occasionally so that it gets, all the water tends to sink down, doesn't it? So just make sure that it gets all nice and evenly dried. In fact, the blanket that I normally have on the back of the sofa, I washed a couple of days ago, and I'll put up a little video here of me of it drying out on the balcony. So yeah, this was a really cool project. It was big, it was heavy, it was something that kind of just needed to get done. It got to the point where I'd kind of had enough by the end of it, if I'm honest. But it's going to be a lovely, squishy, cosy blanket to use in the winter. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and definitely won't be the last one that I make like that. Oh, I should say that I used 4mm needles. I tend to avoid using interchangeables for a blanket. In the past, I have had the needle come away from the cable, or when it's a big heavy blanket. So I tend to try and use a fixed cable. I usually use a cable that's a minimum of 1.25 meters. And then yeah, so that fixed 4mm. It's my favourite needle gauge for making blankets on. Next finished object to show you, it's done. The Puntal. It's a bit creased because I've had it folded up in a bag, ready to wrap. So yes, I finished this Puntal. This is a gift for my partner. It's his birthday later on this week, and I was going through his jumpers the other day because I like to get everything out and give everything a good fluff around, and maybe even a wash at the start of the summer, so that they can be put away clean, ready for the next season. And I noticed that quite a few of the jumpers I've made him in the past don't fit him anymore. He's put on a little bit of weight, not in a bad way, but they're a little bit tight around the midriff. So I might give them away, or I might repurpose the yarn. But anyway, so I thought I'd make him another jumper. And another Puntal seemed like the way forward. Gosh, it is creased, isn't it? It's a nightmare having to hide things when you're knitting. I don't have space to hide things. When I was blocking this, I was doing it when he was out at work, so I got home before him and sort of hid it. It ended up going underneath the sofa overnight once, just whilst it was being blocked. So anyway, this is a simple raglan pattern. It's very beginner friendly. I made the men's 3rd size. I stuck to the pattern. Other than down at the bottom here, I did put in a couple of decreases just to give it a little bit more shape. I also didn't do the stripe that's around the middle. I just made it in the one colour. This is from the Wee Yarn Company, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful base of blended British yarn. And yeah, I hope he'll be happy with it. We shall see. When he tries it on, I might have to make it a bit longer, or the arms a bit longer or shorter, whatever, but we shall see. It's a bit too hot to wear it at the moment, so this will be going away until next autumn, I think. But yes, I'm super happy with it, and just thrilled that I managed to finish it in time to give it to him for his birthday. So yes, I will take some photographs of this afternoon, ready to post after his birthday, so that he doesn't get any spoilers. But yeah, I just really recommend this pattern. It's a really comfortable, cosy knit, very easy to follow, and relatively quick. It's not a small gauge. Again, I've done this on 4mm needles. What is that, a US 6, I think, isn't it? Where is it? Yeah, US 6. And so it knits up fairly quickly, to be honest. And yeah, I've made a lot of them over the years. So one finished Puntal. I have yet another finished object to show you, although it is tiny. Finished my shorty socks. How fun are these? This is just a little recipe that I use. I've linked a pattern down below that's a nice basic sock pattern if you want to get started. All I do to make them into shorties is do a rib of about 5 rounds before going straight into the heel flap. I make the heel flap slightly longer than I normally would, just so that it doesn't slide under my foot. And then I just knit the rest of it as usual. And you'll notice here that I've done ribbing on the top of the foot. It just helps it to sort of stay in place and gives a better fit, in my opinion anyway. I like doing a ribbed sock. I use scraps for this. So the main colour is leftovers from Undercover Otter. It's actually UV yarn as well. I forgot to mention that last time. So if I got my feet out under black light, they would glow, but I don't know why I would do that. And the heels, I'm pretty sure that's Javol from Lang Yarn. I'm pretty sure this is leftovers from Low Family Yarn. But I do like knitting shorties in the summer. They're very satisfying because they're a relatively quick knit. I get to use up all of my little bits of yarny scraps. As I've shown you before, I keep a little jar of sock scraps, sock yarn scraps up there. And I'm not going to be making another pair of these for a while because I've got a few gift knits to do, which I'll show you a bit later on. But yeah, they're just really fun, really satisfying, and they use next to no yarn. I haven't weighed these, if I'm honest. It doesn't really bother me if I don't have enough yarn left to finish one of the socks, because I'll just pick out another colour to finish it, so I don't tend to bother weighing it, to be honest. But I definitely use, I would say, less than 10 grams for the heels and toes, And if I had to guess for the main part of the sock, I'd say about 20 grams. And I have a UK 6 foot, which is about an EU 38, 39, something like that. So they don't use a lot of yarn and they are very satisfying. Good car knitting. So yes, a finished pair of shorty socks. And these ones are matchy, so happy days. Oh, I should say as well, I use a 2.25mm needle. Oh goodness, I'm not sure what that is in the US. Probably a 2 maybe, something like that, a 2.25. I'm not sure. I use quite a small needle for sock knitting. So yeah, that is that. So the next thing to show you is some progress on my Riggies Cardi. So I'm not going to show you my low tide today because I've done a few rows on it, but not really anything significant since you last saw it. I've mainly been concentrating on finishing this blanket and finishing that puntal that I showed you before. But yes, I've almost finished the third panel for my Riggies. So it's a really interesting construction. It's all garter panels and you knit sideways, but then they all get seamed together going that way. I'm using 2 cones of Woolly Knits British 4-ply held together. And so far I've done the, what's that? That's the right front. So you do this lovely garter rib at the bottom of each panel. I've done the front left. And this is the back right. And I've almost finished this one. I think I've got about 20 more rows to do, something like that. So it's a very clever construction because you cast on the long edge. So I've got an itchy nose. You cast on the long edge and then you almost immediately for the front panel start doing short rows to create that shaping for the front. On the back you knit it plain for a while, just plain garter stitch, and then you start doing that back shaping. So I've just got a little stitch marker in here, little moomin. Yeah, so you start doing these short rows on each row, so it then gradually gets shorter, and it's just really satisfying. It grows really quickly. I think if I was just knitting this, I mean, I don't mind when a project takes me a while, but if if I was only knitting this, I think it would only take me a couple of weeks to knit it because it's so simple. I think the seaming is going to take a while. I've never done a seamed garment before, so that's going to be a new one for me. Oh no, that's not true. I've done 3 needle bind offs and things like that on various projects. Yeah, don't listen to me. I'm talking absolute rot. So yeah, it's making some nice progress on that. So after I finish this panel, I'll pick up at the bottom to do a bit of garter rib there as well. And then it's on to the final left back panel. So then I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think the seaming for the body happens, and then I'm not sure what happens for the arm. I'll have a look at the book and tell you. So next I will be joining the backs and the shoulders, and then joining the back, and then the sleeves. Yes, you pick up. Yeah, so I'll pick up for the sleeves. So I'm not sure if they're going to be knitted flat. And then, yeah, they're going to be knitted flat and then joined at the bottom for the garter stitch. Oh, cool. I'm really looking forward to finishing this. It'll be nice to have another long cardigan. I'm using the recommended needles for this, which is, what size is it? What size is it? I think it's a 5. So for the ribbing, it's a US 7 4.5mm, and for the main body, it's a US 8 5mm. And I'm knitting the 3rd size. It's supposed to be a little bit oversized, and I'm just wondering how easy it would be to make it a little bit more oversized. I think you could probably knit those panels a little bit wider, but then you'd have to mess about with the stitch counts for picking up for the button bands and things, or the ribbing down the front. So I'm not sure how that would work. As I go through the construction, I'll think about how it could be adapted to make it a little bit more oversized. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing this and I'm enjoying working on it. I have to admit that I don't find garter stitch that thrilling to knit. This is a product knit rather than a process knit for me. But you know, it is what it is. It makes nice evening knitting. And it's also really nice that I don't have the whole cardigan sitting on my lap at the moment when it's hot. So I'm just knitting those panels, which makes things a lot easier when the weather's warm. So the pattern is available in this book, Grand Shetland Adventure Knits, and this particular pattern is by Gudrun Johnston, but I'm pretty sure that this is available as a standalone pattern now as well. If I just show you a picture of the finished cardigan, it's a nice black and white picture there. So it should be a nice oversized cardigan, and I love the pockets on the front as well. This will be really nice for wearing as a sort of transition cardigan when the weather's getting cooler, but it's not quite cool enough to wear a coat. So yeah, enjoying knitting on this one. So the last thing to talk to you about today is a test knit. I haven't done a test knit for ages. I've been kind of trying not to get attracted by them. I've got so many things in my queue. I've got so many patterns. I wanted to really focus on knitting things for me, but I saw this pattern and I thought it was too cute not to apply for it, and luckily I got picked to be on the test team, which was really, really cool. So this is a new to me designer. Her name is Ruth. She's known as the Knitting Hobbit on Ravelry, which I thought was just adorable. I love the Lord of the Rings. I've read The Hobbit, I think, when I was about 6 or 7. And then I remember going to my grandparents' house and finding an old copy of The Lord of the Rings when I was probably about 9 or 10 and just devouring it. I remember hiding upstairs in the room I was staying in and just reading it one summer, just cover to cover. And yeah, so it really, really appealed to me. It's a very interesting perspective to sort of make things inspired by folklore and fantasy, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'll put some pictures up here. This is the Mirkwood Pullover. I believe it's going to be her 3rd pattern. She's based in the Netherlands, and it's just a beautiful, size-inclusive, ethereal, I would say, top. I've got a real frog in my throat today. And I am going to be using this beautiful yarn from Nellie and Eve. This is such an interesting yarn, and I'm really sorry she seems to be out of stock with this at the moment, but hopefully she'll have it in again. It's called the Mindful Fluff Alternative, so Halo. And hang on a sec, I'm just going to go and close the window because the kiddies next door are playing on the balcony. Yes, so where was I? Yes, it's called Halo. And I picked up 5 skeins of it at Wonderwall last month. And yeah, she describes it as the mindful fluff alternative. So it's ethical, sustainable, traceable and cruelty-free fluff yarn. So it's not actually fluffy in the same way that an alpaca or a mohair is fluffy, because it's British wool, but it's been brushed to give it this sort of halo. I just thought it was really interesting. This is a 50 gram skein and it's got 235 metres in it. And it will bloom really nicely. I've used her yarns before, and yeah, I just thought it was a different sort of thing to use. As I said, I've got 5 skeins of this. I will probably use all of them in this pattern. It is fairly cropped, so we'll just see how it goes. I swatched for this from 4mm needles up to 5.5, and I ended up settling on a 5mm needle for this. Let me just get I haven't done very much so far, but you can see when this is caked up, it's got this beautiful halo to it. So this is what I've done so far. This little bit of lace. This is the back panel. It's not going to have this shape when it's finished. I'm going to be picking up along the edge to do a little I-cord bind off. But I'm really, really happy with the gauge that this is making. As you can see, it's very open. It is going to bloom a little bit, but I think this is going to look very, very ethereal, very whimsical. It's going to be nice to wear over a vest top. And yeah, I think because of the open gauge, I think I should be able to get away with wearing it on cooler summer days. And this colour is just heavenly. It's duck egg, and I'm just so sorry that she doesn't have any more in stock at the moment, but I've linked her website down below, so if she does get any more in, you can have a look on there. But I am really enjoying working with this, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the finished garment turns out. The one thing I will say about Ruth's test knit is that it's got a lovely long deadline, which is so thoughtful for the testers. I don't particularly like it when test knits have a very short deadline. I totally appreciate that businesses have schedules and deadlines and everything, but it's very difficult unless you're only knitting and doing it full time to realistically put out a full garment for my size, which is usually about the fourth to the fifth size, within 4 weeks. It's just not doable. Life and being realistic tends to get in the way, but this has got a lovely long deadline on it. I'm knitting the third size. The recommended ease is between 20 and 30 centimetres, and it's got a really good range of sizes going up to, I think it was about 165, I've got it here. 187 centimetres, which is about 74 inches, I think. But yes, she does recommend 20 to 30 centimetres of positive ease. Now, I'm not going to do that because purely because I'm quite small here, but much bigger around the bust. And I find that if I pick a size that's got too much positive ease, it just swamps me here and it just keeps slipping off my shoulders and things. So I've gone for a size that gives me slightly less positive ease. I've gone for the 136 centimetre circumference, which should give me about 16 centimetres of positive ease, which should be about right for my taste. And watch this space. I'm going to work on it slowly. I really, really enjoy this kind of process knit. Nice simple lace, relatively simple construction. You start on the back panel, go down, pick up the fronts, and then I think we're going to join in the round. So yeah, it should be relatively straightforward. A nice, easy to memorise lace pattern with yarn overs and knitting two together. So watch this space and I'll let you know how I get on. That's about it for today. As I said, I have no irresponsible purchases to show you. I'm still waiting for that baby yarn that I ordered. I think I ordered it before the last episode from the UK. I've just ordered a big box yarn. It's a pretty safe bet when it comes to baby yarns because they usually, if they're suitable for babies, they really, really clearly state that, which is very helpful. But it seems to have got lost in the post. I've been tracking it, and the parcel went to Heathrow to be delivered, and then it got returned back to the depot again. So I don't know if they messed up the labelling or something for export to Europe. So I'm still waiting for it. I was really hoping to have that to show you this week, but it is what it is. We'll have something else to talk about next time. And it's just been a lovely bank holiday weekend here in Germany, as it has been, I think, in most places this weekend. We spent a lovely day walking around an outdoor museum near us called Museum Insel Hombroich, and it's a big outdoor sculpture park. But I go there for the gardens, to be honest. So there's a little bit of footage of that at the end for you to enjoy. A little mooch around. And yesterday, my partner and I, we went to a lake near us. So we don't live very near the coast. The Dutch coast is about probably the best part of a 3-hour drive away from here. And it's always so busy on public holidays. So we thought we'd go to the lake near us instead. And we spent a lovely few hours there before it got extremely busy. So we decided to come home. I do love open water swimming. It's just, swimming in general is fantastic, but there's something really special about swimming in a lake or swimming in the sea or something. I really enjoy it. But I'm feeling it a bit this morning, a bit stiff. So yeah, we had a really, really lovely bank holiday weekend, and it's just a 2-day week for us now because my partner's taken Thursday and Friday off work for his birthday, and then we might go away somewhere this weekend. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I think that's about it for today. I hope that you are knitting on something lovely, and if it's hot where you are, that you're keeping nice and cool. And I am going to go and open my window again whilst it's still cool enough to let some cool air in, before I shut all the blinds and things later to keep the sun out. So I wish you a very, very lovely day and lots of lovely crafting, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye.